So this is the Violent Python workshop at Hope. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we got a lot of people here. Now the plan here, for most of you, this is intended to be an introductory workshop if you don't know much about Python. And if you want to join us, there's a seat up here. Now if you know Python, I have some more advanced things towards the end. I had one guy come in who was a professional coder and he said, I won't learn anything. You're right, he can go. But anyway, so if you're a complete beginner, that's fine. If you're more advanced, I can point you to some more advanced stuff. This is structured like a capture the flag contest, which is the standard for all security training. I imagine you know, but if you don't know, the whole point of this is a problem I face in all my classes. And let me say, I'm Sam Bound. I teach at City College San Francisco and other places. That's Elizabeth Middlecombe.
I also teach at City College of San Francisco and other places.
Yeah, and so we're both here to help you. The point of this is, the reason I use Capture the Flag contests in all my classes is because I always face the same problem. My students are not all at the same level. Now, when I went to college 100 years ago, you would take like pre-calculus and then calculus 1 and calculus 2, and they would just assume you didn't know anything except what was in the previous course. But that is not true now, especially at places like Hope and DEF CON, where a lot of people are hobbyists. Even though they may have no formal training, they know a lot. So it's not appropriate to think you're all at one level. Everybody's all over the map. And the point of this is, there's a whole series of challenges, and you can zip ahead to whatever level you like. If you're a complete beginner, start at the top. If that's too easy for you, just zip down to the ones that are challenging to you, and that way everybody can make some progress. So I'm going to demonstrate some of the things here to help people, and we'll go around and help people having trouble on challenges. But the point is, you get to the internet, go to samsclass.info, which is there. There's the only URL you need. Get on the internet and get to samsclass.info. That's my home page, and right now, this is right at the top. And there's a link here to take you to Violent Python, which is this page here. And I'm streaming this workshop and recording it. So there'll be videos up later of all the demonstrations you can look at. And there's no paywall for anything, and it's going to stay up forever. All the stuff I've done for the last 20 years is all on my webpage. All that happens is it moves to the old classes page. So if you want to look at this stuff later, you can have it. In fact, I've got people I know in companies that are using my running CTFs for training inside their company. And it's running, you can use them. The scoreboard will be running. I'll archive after Hope just so you can record who won this, but I'll just leave it running so you can continue to play it later. So there's a whole series of challenges down here. And so if you don't have Python, if you have Linux or Mac, just open a terminal and you got Python already. If you have a PC, you don't have Python, and you can install it locally, but it won't run that well because Microsoft ruins everything, as you probably know. And in general, you know, Microsoft and Linux are companies at war, so open source stuff never runs right on Windows. And anyway, so unless you're used to running Python on Windows, I don't recommend it. I would use Google Colab. If you have a Google account, you can use a free cloud service that gives you a Python environment. And you have a limited amount of resources, but it's fine. It's enough for all the simple things we're doing here. So if you just have a Windows machine, use Python on Colab. If you have a local Linux, you can use here. And so if you do one of these, for example, this one here, you go to Google Colab and sign in and execute the print statements. This is hello world in Python. And then you do help and you'll find a flag here. Now, whenever you see this green border, that's a flag that's worth some points. So this is VP 11.1 is the word hidden there. And you put it at the top here. You click Submit Flags, and you find that one, which is VP 11.1. And then you put a name in here and the flag. That'll put you on the scoreboard. It's, you know, there's no cash prize. So, and this is not like the serious CTFs, like the DEF CON CTF, where the problems are all brand new and they're really hard and you're proving that you're the top person in the world. These are just ordinary homework problems of the type you'd find in any textbook. So it's not as serious, but I just find it motivates students. The competition keeps them doing their homework. It's just a sleazy trick to trick people into doing homework. They'd rather do CTF than anything else. And you know, I wrote a COBOL CTF when the pandemic hit because I was bored and crazy and going nuts at home. And they said they needed COBOL coders to distribute money. And then I got comments from a training where I went to. A guy said, would you like to learn COBOL? He said, hell no, COBOL is garbage. He said, how about a CTF? He said, well, yeah, I'd do that. So, you know, it's fun. The competition gamification makes it fun. And people did. So anyway, here's where you put in your flags to get your points. And as you can see, quite a few people have already got some points on the board, which is great. I'll leave this running throughout the workshop. And all right. So that's the structure. And so you go down here, this just gets Python running. Here's some very elementary stuff, so you'll learn some of the structures used in Python. You can start using AI. Everybody says AI is going to replace all the entry-level programmers. Well, maybe that's true, and maybe it isn't, but we should all be learning how to use it. We should use it for whatever good it is. So I recommend getting used to using AI to help you write your code. That's the way everybody's really going to do it. And here's a few examples of how to get AI with your code. And here's some simple hacking tasks, writing port scanners, and then decoding obfuscated code. When people infect your network and then sneak data off your network, they hide it in various ways. They smuggle it out as DNS or as HTTP queries, and so you can practice decoding some of those. And then we're going to do some cryptography. There's a couple of complete mad ones here. And then there's a more orderly structure of some of the Python data structures that are used. And then, if you want more advanced stuff, this stuff comes primarily from the advent of code. If you start coding in any language and you enjoy it, every year, in the 40 days before Christmas, there's the advent of code. I do it every year. It's wonderful. It's a whole series of problems. I've done it for years. And then when I finally got a job teaching real coding, which I hadn't done before, and taught the second Python class, I realized that's exactly what it is. It's the homework. You start with simple lists, then you move into tree traversal and trying to make things efficient and various kinds of searches. So if you want the more advanced stuff, it's down here. And feel free, and I got some textbooks that I used for this. ThinkPython is a free online resource for beginners. Very good. This one here cost money, but that's the one with the more advanced data structures, appropriate for the bottom half. And it all started for me with this one, which is kind of out of date. It was from Python 2, not Python 3, which has replaced it. But this is the first one that started me on this whole path of teaching things, not with the usual lecture style, but by just giving people hacking projects where they're breaking into things, which just makes it more fun to learn. Anyway, so that's an overview of this. You should start solving challenges, and I'll demonstrate some of the basic stuff up here. And let us know if you get stuck when solving them, and we'll help you.
So if you've got a Mac and you don't have Python installed already,